What's up, boys? Welcome back to another NFL picks and predictions video. We are here for week 2 of the NFL season. Crazy week 1. Unreal. Lots of insanity going on. Buffalo Bills comeback, this, that, the other. Detroit Lions look like shit. Giants still suck. Cardinals somehow almost lose a game to one of the worst teams in the league. It's the NFL. This is what you're going to get week in and week out. We're here for NFL picks and predictions week 2. Starting off strong with a solid game on September 11th. Rest in peace, everybody who died on September 11th. I ain't going to get into all that nonsense. I am not going to get political. I am not that guy. But we got the Washington Commanders taking on the Green Bay Packers down in Wisconsin. Green Bay Packers minus 3.5 against the Washington no-names. I think this is a bit of an overreaction to what the Green Bay Packers did to the Detroit Lions. I think the Washington Commanders are more than capable of covering the 3.5. If not win the game outright, I would take the Washington no-names plus 3.5 all day long, especially with that hook. Micah Parsons, Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, blah, 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 blah. Jane Daniels, Scary Terry. Dude, I just think that this team, Zach Ertz, this team is legit. They are legit. The no-names are legit. And you're getting 3.5 with a hook. I would go with the Commanders there all day long. A.K.A. the Washington no-names. Because the Commanders is not a serious name. They should go back to the Redskins. And that's also another political nonsense, which I'm not going to get into. Because it's not my place to say so. And I just don't want to piss off the wrong people. Anyways, Chicago Bears, September 14th. Facing off against the Detroit Lions at home in Ford Field after that abysmal, disgusting, disgraceful performance that the Lions put up against the Green Bay Packers in week 1. The Lions were minus 5.5 at home in Ford Field against the Chicago Bears, who just continue to find ways to lose, who are a not serious organization. Everybody talks about the Chicago Bears. The 85 Bears. The 85 Bears. You know what happened in 1985? Cristiano Ronaldo was born. And that was 40 fucking years ago. So can we let go of the 85 Bears and face reality? This team sucks. They stink. They're in the same realm of the New Orleans Saints, the Carolina Panthers. They're a disaster, dude. And Caleb Williams and his black nails they're just not a franchise quarterback. It's just the way she goes, dude, and you just have to accept the reality. Detroit Lions bounce back 5.5 at home in Ford Field against the Chicago Bears. I think the Lions figure shit out and pump the Bears. I just think they pump the Bears. Would you be shocked if the Bears start off 0-2? No, you wouldn't. Would you be shocked if the Lions come out after getting blown out by the Packers and smoke the Bears? No, you wouldn't, because it's the Detroit Lions, and they're still a great football team. I know they have new coaches and this, that, and the other. And I know they have their problems. But we're talking about the Chicago Bears. The Bears. Detroit Lions win the cover. Next game, oh God. Oh God. New England Patriots taking on the Miami Dolphins down in South Beach. The Miami Dolphins probably should blow up the entire team. McDaniel, he's this genius. He's an offensive genius. He's the best coach ever. Him and his glasses and his ability to just read the game and everything and beyond. The Miami Dolphins have problems. You have a bunch of guys in that locker room with an ego. Adding Tyreek Hill here. Tyreek Hill thinks he's much better than this team, and this is why you have problems. Your best wide receiver, legitimately, first of all, he didn't get named captain on the Miami Dolphins. That says enough about that organization and what the hell, and whoever's running that shit. Get rid of the GM, get rid of the coach, trade Tua. Tua, if I was Tua Tagovailoa, I would retire. I would get my bag. I would get my certified check that is guaranteed in his contract and get the fuck out of the NFL. Because nobody is gonna look In 5 years' time, nobody is gonna give a single fuck that Tua Tagovailoa left the NFL early. Nobody cares. He's not a quarterback where people are gonna care about in 5 years' time if he hung up his boots tomorrow. Nobody gives a fuck. Blow up that whole entire team. It's obviously not working. McDaniel, I don't know what he's doing. Tyreek Hill has an ego in himself, and all his baby mamas and his kids he has to worry about. Trade Tyreek, get rid of Tua, fire McDaniel, get rid of the GM, and blow the fucking thing up. Because that team is a disaster. And if you're a Dolphins fan, I'm sorry. But I can't say much because I'm a Cardinals fan. So, enough said. Miami Dolphins -1.5 at home in South Beach. I mean, I'm going to go back to the well here and take the goddamn Miami Dolphins because playing in South Beach, Florida, 1 p.m. on a Sunday is a recipe for a disaster for almost 90% of the football league. So I would reluctantly take the Dolphins -1.5 against a divisional rival in the New England Patriots, who absolutely, utterly stink. They stink. These two teams stink. Anyways, speaking of teams that stink, how about the New York Football Giants, led by old elephant Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson? Good God almighty. Dable, Wilson, you have Malik Neighbors, and you're also the Football Giants. So what does that tell me? You're a disaster. How do you not start Jackson Dart? And I don't know much about Jackson Dart. The only thing I know about Jackson Dart is that he is on Instagram as if he's fucking Tom Brady or Lamar Jackson, the way he posts on social media. I had never seen the guy play on Ole Miss. I don't watch much college football. But based off his social media, this guy's looking, he's coming off as this persona of a fantastic quarterback, and he might be. I saw some clips of him. He's nice. He's nice with it. But at the same time, why not give the rookie a chance when you drafted him? But instead we're starting Russell Wilson, the old elephant, who, yes, was good when he won the Super Bowl fucking 10 years ago. Like, dude, this guy's out of his prime. He stinks. Face the facts, Giants. Face the facts. He stinks. Your team stinks. You guys are not good. This is the fucking fifth year in a row where you guys got blown out in week 1. You have no chance of doing anything against anybody. You suck. And poor Malik Neighbors, who's actually an unreal player. Hopefully, fucking the Cardinals could pick him up some way, somehow, because he's unreal. But when you're led by an old elephant, you're not gonna go anywhere. And especially in the Giants organization, you're just not going anywhere. So New York Giants taking on the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry's World, Dallas. Give me the Dallas fucking Cowboys. I almost said Mavericks -5.5. Next game, Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals -3.5. Good God almighty, what do you do with this fucking bullshit? Jaguars look good at home against the Carolina Panthers. Cincinnati Bengals almost lose to the Cleveland Browns, led by a 59-year-old Joe Flacco. Like, what the fuck was that game? If it wasn't for those 2 fumble turnovers, the Bengals lose to the Browns. And if it wasn't the Carolina Panthers, more times than not, the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to lose that football game, because who could trust the Jacksonville Jaguars? Nobody. Do I like Trevor Lawrence? Kinda. He's aight at best. ETN kind of went off, carried them a bit, but I don't trust the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't trust the Cincinnati Bengals. +3.5. I would probably just lean towards Jacksonville, but I just wouldn't go anywhere near this game with a 10-foot pole. Anyways, moving on to another dumpster fire, like I just spoke about 2 minutes ago about old elephants. Joe Flacco taking on the Baltimore Ravens, who had an absolute meltdown against the Buffalo Bills. Some would say it's the script. Some would say it's the Vegas script. You're up 15 points with 4 minutes left to go in a game and you lose. Yikes. That's not a good look for the Baltimore Ravens and their defense specifically. And I know after Derrick Henry dropped that football, after that fumble, the game turned around completely. Was there a bit of shenanigans going on there with the betting and the Bills at home and this, that, the other? Maybe. I wouldn't put it past the NFL for pulling some bullshit like that. But in the same breath, I just cannot see the Baltimore Ravens losing to the Cleveland Browns. With that being said, minus 11.5, divisional game. Cleveland Browns are notorious for playing the Ravens tough. Give me the Cleveland Browns. Crazy. Call me fucking insane. The Ravens will win this football game. Will they win by margin? They might win by 8 to 10. Are they going to cover 11.5? I don't know, dude. You got Joe Flacco going against the team that he won a Super Bowl with, fucking 13, 14 years ago? Give me the Browns with the points, Ravens to win. Moving on, San Francisco 49ers, the most banged up team in the NFL currently, taking on the Mardi Gras Fat Tuesday New Orleans Saints. Who dat? In the NO. Saints plus 4.5 against the Niners. George Kittle's out. CMC, is he banged up? Is he going to play? Who knows? Brock Purdy somehow has an injury. Who knows what's going on with the Niners? They're an absolute fucking hot garbage fire mess right now. And we're only in week 2. So the poor San Francisco 49ers fans, I'm sorry, minus 4.5 in the Superdome. If Purdy and CMC play, give me the Niners. If not, give me the under. I'm not going to take the New Orleans Saints with any sort of points because that team stinks. But I would take the under if those guys don't play. And then you got the Buffalo Bills taking on the New York Football Jets, a team who finds a way to lose. The Jets are like the Leafs, the Cowboys are like the Leafs, the Jets are like the Cowboys are like the Leafs, the Cowboys are like the Jets. It's a fucking crazy circle. These teams find ways to lose. And I specifically say that about the Leafs because the Leafs in playoffs find ways to lose. But the New York Jets find ways to lose in regular season. And this is what they're doing here against the Pittsburgh Steelers, like you just saw. Unbelievable game. Justin Fields, Aaron Rodgers, this, that, 34-32, whatever the fucking score was. Is this a letdown for the Bills? Is this a confidence boost for the Jets? That's for you to decide. The Bills, we saw them last year lose against the Jets in MetLife. Plus 6.5 coming off a high after beating the Baltimore Ravens. I would like to have the New York Jets plus 6.5 in my back pocket. Bills probably win the game. Next game, got the Seattle Seahawks, Sam Darnold, taking on Aaron the Game Rodgers in Heinz Field. Minus 2.5 Steelers. Steelers win the cover. Like, the Seahawks stink, dude. They're just not good. Like, they're just another team that's just not good. I think that Pittsburgh will have enough to win by a field goal. I would like to think that they would have enough to win by a field goal. And this goes back to the whole Pittsburgh persona. They're good enough to make the playoffs, but when they make the playoffs, they're going to get blown out to whoever they play. Will Mike Tomlin have another winning season? Yes, he will. Will he make the playoffs? Yes, he will with the Steelers. Are they going to do fucking jack shit in the playoffs? Fuck no. No chance they're going to do anything in the playoffs. I just don't see this team competing for a Super Bowl. They'll be in the playoffs. They're going to play the Bills or whoever. What else? They're going to lose to anybody they play. First round exits, like the past couple years. Do they have enough to win against the Seattle Seahawks at home in Heinz Field with Aaron the Game Rodgers and DK Metcalf and this, that, the other? Yes. Yes, they do. Steelers minus 2.5. Los Angeles Rams minus 5.5 against the fucking Tennessee Titans. Cam Ward, rookie, this, that. The Titans stink. The Titans stink. The Rams I'm not too high on the Rams like a lot of other people are in the sports world. I just don't. I trust in Sean McVay. I just think Matt Stafford is past his time, and rightfully so. He has a Super Bowl. What the fuck does he have to care about? If he doesn't make the playoffs, you think it's gonna fucking. You think he's gonna lose sleep at night? No, he's not gonna lose sleep at night. He has a Super Bowl. The Tennessee Titans, on the other hand, they're another dumpster fire. They're in the fucking realm of the Saints, the Panthers. They're a disaster, dude. That team sucks. It was not too long ago when you had Derrick Henry and DeAndre Hopkins and A.J. Brown carrying you to playoff games, championship games. Now they're a mess, and I don't see them going anywhere in the next couple years. Is Cam Ward the answer? I don't fucking know. Definitely not. Give me the Rams. And then we're going to go to my favorite team here, the Arizona Cardinals at home opener, State Farm Stadium against the Carolina Panthers, who absolutely fucking stink. The Panthers stink. Bryce Young stinks. That team stinks. They can't stop the run. They can't do fucking this. They can't do that. They can't move the ball from here to there. James Conner is going to run all over the field in this football game. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to get a touchdown, 1 or 2, maybe 3. Trey McBride's going to pick up a couple yards for us. We're going to stomp on the Panthers. But then in the same breath, do you like to take the Arizona Cardinals with points? More times than not, you don't. But you're playing the Carolina Panthers. And don't get me wrong, last year we had to play the Carolina Panthers to make a playoff spot. And guess what happened? We lost 30-something to 30-something. We lost against the Carolina Panthers. But I believe Andy Dalton was playing. If I'm not mistaken, I think Andy Dalton was playing. If Bryce Young is playing in this game, give me the Cardinals all day long. Anyways, moving on. Denver Broncos, Indianapolis Colts. Broncos minus 2.5. I mean, there should be no overreaction here. I know the Broncos played like absolute dog shit against Titans, and the Colts absolutely dismantled the Dolphins. But in the same breath, I think the Broncos are a superior football team to the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are the most hot and cold team in the league. They're the most disaster, most inconsistent team. They are good 1 week, they'll blow out the Dolphins, and they will get blown out here by Denver. But this line is short because of week 1 overreactions. And you got the Denver Broncos, who played like shit against the Titans, and you got the Colts, who played amazing against the Dolphins, and you got a short line at minus 2.5. Give me the Denver Broncos 10 times out of 10, twice on Sundays. And then you got the evening games here, 4:25 Eastern Standard Time. You got the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Kansas City Zebras. Emphasized zebra. Minus 1.5 Philadelphia in Arrowhead. Philly's a favorite in Arrowhead. Super Bowl rematch. Kansas City low-key banged up, a lot of injuries. Sky suspended. Is Jalen Carter suspended? Who knows? He spit on Dak Prescott, and what is that shit? Like, dude, if you get spit on, and I've been playing sports my entire life, competitively for a very long time, you spit on somebody, you either get socked in the fucking mouth, or you get an extreme suspension plus a fine. I just don't see the Chiefs going 0-2. And don't get me wrong, are the Eagles a better team than the Chiefs? I think so. But you have to keep in mind you're playing the Kansas City Zebras, and they're playing at home in Arrowhead against the defending Super Bowl champions. And you know the Zebras are going to be on the Chiefs' side, and they're going to fucking jerk ride Patrick Mahomes to a victory in this football game. Give me the Chiefs plus 1.5 all day. And then you got Sunday Night Football, Atlanta Falcons taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota somehow finds a way to beat the Chicago Bears. Is this an overreaction to the Chicago Bears victory? Of course it is. J.J. McCarthy drives in the fourth quarter, gets a touchdown, wins the game, Dude, like, the Minnesota Vikings are not serious, nor are the Atlanta Falcons, but I think the Atlanta Falcons could do enough to cover 4.5. Like 4.5, dude, you just give the ball to Bijan Robinson, you're going to cover 4.5 10 times out of 10. Minnesota is extremely overvalued in this spot, and I just don't see how they win by margin in this football game. And I know the Falcons are the Falcons. They're another one of those teams that just cannot seem to find a way to win a game, like you just saw last week against the Bucs. But in the same breath, I just don't see the Minnesota Vikings as this big of a favorite. I know it's the home opener. JJ McCarthy at home. He just won in Soldier Field. I would take the Falcons there. And then you got Monday Night Football. Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Houston Texans in Houston. Houston minus 2.5. Give me the Bucks. Give me the Bucks. Give me Baker. Give me Bucky. Give me the Bucks, dude. I just think that the Bucks are capable of beating the Houston Texans. Fun fact, I don't think in the past 4 or 5 years the Bucks have beat the Texans. But in the same breath, I also believe that they have enough ability to do that in week 2 of this NFL season, simply due to the fact of the Texans' injuries. They have a lot of injuries. They're banged up. And I just think the Bucks have enough weapons to get by to potentially cover a 2.5-point spread. They might lose by 2, they might lose by 1, or they might win outright. I would take the Buccaneers there. And the final game of the week, we got the Los Angeles Superchargers taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. Chucky. Las Vegas Raiders are not serious. I trust in Justin Herbert. I actually support Justin Herbert. I think he's a great quarterback. I think that Keenan Allen's going to get on the board. I think that Ladd McConkey's going to get on the board. I think that Harbaugh has a plan to dismantle the Las Vegas Raiders, who will forever be to me the Oakland Raiders. I just think the Chargers have too much weapons for the Raiders to even compete in this football game. I just don't see how they win. I don't see how the Chargers don't win by 5+. And the spread's 3.5, so give me the Chargers. Anyways, let's go Cardinals. Here's your picks for week 2 of the NFL season. I'll catch you next week. Ciao.